Okay, moving right along, now we are into the transmission, and this part looks a little tricky, so I will try to do it as slow and as detailed as possible. So the first step in building the transmission is we're going to take the diff gear, 52 tooth diff gear, and we're going to put these little 3/32 carbide diff balls in, and they're very tiny, inside the diff gear, and coat it with some diff lube. So that's why I'm doing this over a rag. I don't want to spill these little things everywhere. I will never find them again. I'd have to order all these parts over again. If you can see what I'm doing here, I kind of put a little bead of lube around this gear, and to see if the lube itself can't hold these little balls from falling through the holes. Little diff balls. So, okay. So they're all where they need to go, and none of them fell through. So we're just going to let that sit there, and we're going to work on. We got to put the drive rings with some diff lube on the ball diff out drives. These two pieces right here. So we'll put a little bit of lube on here. One, two. All right. Next step, we're going to take the diff thrust bolt. We're going to put these little tiny washers. What size are they? Diff thrust washers, little tiny guys. Put that on there. This part looks a little tricky too. Just like that. And then we're going to line that with grease. Black grease. Yeah, the black grease. It's a little bit thicker. And we need to put really tiny balls in a pattern around that washer. And then we're going to just put these little, over the rag here, I'll move the rag a little bit closer so you can see it. These little tiny balls. Just in this black grease. It kind of holds them into place. But still, something that's not really easy to do. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that, but that's going to be the end result there. And you put the other washer on top. Okay, that's what it looks like, and then we're going to slide it up through the bottom of looks like this section right here. Hopefully that keeps all those balls from falling all over the place. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that there. Little tiny parts to work with. Okay, so that will stay there, and then we're going to put two washers over that size bearing. We're going to put two bearings, unflanged bearings. And then this gear that we did earlier over top of the whole thing. Okay, sort of like that, I'm guessing. I did everything according to the directions, so we'll just keep cruising on here. Then this other part here of the diff will slide over top of, just like that. Sorry, I'm being quiet. This is kind of tricky here. And then you get this spring here. This is the diff thrust spring. And that goes in over top. Yep, that fell right into place. Okay, and the locking nut, which looks like this. we have the I have the bolt through there, and I need to tighten it to get this this locking nut down further. So I got the right wrench now. Just gonna kind of hold it in place and tighten that thing down until that nut comes flat. You can't really, I'll show you when we get there. Okay. Now that's tightened all the way. Now I gotta release it 1/8 turn. So I guess that's like that. All right, so I tightened that bolt down, and I loosened it just a little bit, as the instruction says. It says you should run, it should feel smooth as well, let me see exactly. Your diff should now operate smooth with resistance as the outdrives move in opposite direction after you have driven the car once. Recheck the diff setting. Okay, so I think that feels pretty good right there. So we'll move on from there. One last step on the diff, though, is we need to put this this cover in. So hopefully that made sense. I know this was the part that kind of made me nervous about the whole build because of the everything being so small, but we got it done. Yeah, that's all the further it goes. Yep, there it goes. And then we can put this in yet. Okay, there we go. So push that all the way through, and you can still get your hex driver in there to adjust your diff, but that feels pretty good. I think we're good to go. So we'll move on from there.